Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Pro Wrestling Logic YouTube channel and the AEW review for the 2nd of September 2020. Mere days before the All Out 2020 pay per view. And I was not impressed. Actually, I think this was the worst Dynamite show I've seen thus far. I was very underwhelmed by the program tonight going into the pay-per-view. I think they did a great disservice except for a couple of things on the show, and it felt like they were doing a tune-in week. Now, to be fair, if this show had aired after the pay-per-view and I saw it as pay-per-view fatigue, I'd be a lot kinder, but they did not sell the pay-per-view in a way that made me think that if I wasn't already a fan who was going to support them anyway, that I would not have bought it. Anyway, we open with Excalibur, Jim Ross, and Tony Schiavone as the broadcast team for the evening. Santana and Ortiz versus Best Friends. I thought they were at the pay-per-view. I guess not. They brawl around to open. Best Friends jump Santana Ortiz. As they enter, they brawl around ringside for quite a minute. Taylor dives off the stage into a pile of chairs and is selling for several minutes. Trent and Santana begin the match as illegal men. Trent hits a dive onto Ortiz, but misses a spear and hits the barricade. Taylor gets a tag and hits a tope con hilo onto both of his opponents. Taylor uses soul food for a near fall and then a sunset flip for another near fall. Trent tags in and gets speared off the apron into the ring steps. Ouch. Santana and Ortiz go for the street sweeper, but Taylor pulls Santana off the apron. Trent gets attempts a pinfall, but the break is forced when Santana and Ortiz work together. Santana uses a baton and hit Trent in the back, and Santana and Ortiz hit the street sweeper. Santana pins Trent. Hopefully this means the feud is over. Hasn't been that great a feud to begin with. MJF is backstage. Lee Johnson tells him that Mark Sterling, his lawyer, had locked himself in a room, refusing to come out. This was funny. I can only imagine MJF having to deal with insubordination. This was cool. Wardlow kicks the door in, and MJF cuts a scathing promo on Sterling. He threatens him and insisted he show up for the match with Moxley tonight. The obligatory multi-man match is next. Young Bucks and Jurassic Express defeated SCU and Private Party. I guess that means Private Party is heels now, kind of, sort of. I know a lot of people like this match. I did not. And also the idea that the winners will face off at the pay-per-view just seems like let's throw people on the pay-per-view just for the sake of. Kazarian and Jungle Boy begin with a hot exchange. I will say Kazarian's getting better and better each time out. They trade pin attempts, but not near falls. Matt Jackson tags in, and he gets cut off by Private Party. Cassidy hits a springboard dive, and Matt rolls to the outside. Fan makes fun of Matt with a hangman sign. Matt, who I guess they're teasing the Young Bucks heel turn here, which could be interesting, tears up the hangman sign and pours the fan's beer over his head. Obviously a plant, because if this was a real fan, not good for PR. Daniels tags in, gets cut off by the Bucks. Daniels makes his own comeback, which doesn't make sense. Kazarian and Jungle Boy tag back in. Kazarian hits a leg slice, and then slingshot cutter on Nick Jackson by Kazarian. Daniels hits a moonsault to the floor. At 50 years old, he's probably one of the better athletes they have, pure athletes, that being Daniels. And Kaz continues working on Jungle Boy for the attempted win. Private Party hits a facebuster on Jungle Boy. Daniels tags in and continues wrestling. Um, Jungle Boy takes a lot of the heat in the match. He is a good baby face in peril and is only getting better. Cassidy and Daniels actually run into each other. This leads to a hot tag to Luchasaurus. Luchasaurus moonsaults off the apron in a cool spot. And they do Luchasaurus and Matt hit stereo standing moonsaults and top rope splashes. And Jungle Boy tags back in a little too early. Gets cut off yet again. Matt hits a super kick on Jungle Boy. Cassidy hits a senton for a near fall. Everybody hits a big move. Matt blind tags. Bucks hit the BTE trigger on Quinn and pinned him, getting the win back from when they beat Private Party, or Private Party beat them on the first Dynamite. I don't know. I don't like these multi-man matches. I know some people do. They like the really athletic style, but it doesn't tell a decent story, and it screams, let's get everyone on the show just because. Jake Hager, backstage in Orange Cassidy's locker room, Hager tells Cassidy that Jericho wants him at ringside for the match tonight, and he'd be smart if he appeared. Since when is Hager giving orders to Orange Cassidy? Anyway, Tully Blanchard gives a pep talk to FTR backstage. This is good. Dax and Cash cut a promo saying that winning the tag team champions at All Out would make everything worth it and would make their annual salary over $1 million, and they're going to win no matter how much they like and respect Hangman. I assume Hangman does his unofficial turn here. Tony Schiavone's in the ring next. He calls out Kenny Omega for an Omega promo. Classy move. Omega is wearing a Hana Kimura tribute shirt. Of course, Kimura is the young lady from Japan who was a wrestler who committed suicide earlier this year. I respect Omega for that. I may rag on Omega, but he does seem like a genuine, decent guy with moves like this. Anyway, Schiavone asks him about Paige's actions last week, and Omega basically says that everyone makes mistakes. Paige got taken in by FTR cockroaches. Wow, that's pretty strong. And that it doesn't mean anything in the long run. Says that everyone lives and learns, and that All Out FTR will fall. FTR and Blanchard come out to the ring, and they offer Omega chocolate milk from the cooler. Omega called FTR some sort of vulgarity and said they were going to fight. They should get it over with. Paige enters, and FTR told Paige to tell Omega they hadn't gotten to Paige to make him turn on the Bucks, but Paige did it himself. They stare down. FTR begs off. Paige stands in the ring by himself. Omega stood by himself on the floor. Apparently, this means a breakup between Omega and Paige is coming. Omega and Paige as a singles feud would be fun, although I'm not sure where that leads the tag division. I assume that means FTR and Bucks is coming on down the line. Guy that I do not understand why is employed, Alex Marvez, interviews Jericho. Jericho makes a joke about him never kissing a woman. Jericho also says he's made Omega a bigger star, Cassidy a bigger star than he'll ever be, and he's brought the best out of him. And at All Out, he's going to put a bullet in him. Jericho warned Joey Janela and said he's going to be a sacrifice tonight. Again, this is a show before a pay-per-view, and you're giving us Chris Jericho, a former multi-time WWF champion, WWE champion, against Joey Janela? Like, do you not care about the quality of your product at all? Janela is good for a third-rate indie show. I don't even think... Maybe you put him on Dark. Maybe he's good enough to get on Dark. But on national television, against a guy who in a featured match on a pay-per-view? Please do not do this. Anyway, Jericho exposes a buckle post-match, sent Janela into it. Janela is bloodied. Bleeding is one of the few things he does well. Obviously, Jericho wins with the Lion Tamer in a complete throwaway match. At least they used uh, Janela for his talent of looking at the lights. And Cassidy jumps into the ring and goes after Jericho. Hager blocked Cassidy and started beating him down. Sonny Kiss runs out, hit Jericho with a forearm. Hager left the ring to check on Jericho. Cassidy poured a bottle of bubbly while Jericho and Hager looked on from the floor. Jericho promised to show Cassidy that he's the better man. This interaction, the Orange Cassidy stuff and Jericho was fine, but Janela? Really? Anyway, Sammy Guevara and Matt Hardy, they battle with cue cards about their match coming up on the pay-per-view. Hardy stood atop the entrance tunnel, and Guevara stands on the stage. I don't know. This angle's dying a death. I don't imagine anybody's buying for this. Guevara is good, but I think he lost momentum with the sexual assault allegations that are against him. Anyway, so Team Taz comes out to the ring. Taz promised one of his guys would win the Casino Battle Royal on Saturday. Jake Roberts and Lance Archer come in. He says Taz cut him off last week and he's returning the favor. And Roberts made some adult references. And then Eddie Kingston's out. Kingston owns Jake in the promo and says that Archer is tough, but not as tough as Kingston. I would believe this. I'm not an Eddie Kingston fan, but he does portray toughness very well. Darby Allin's music hits, and everyone involved in the Battle Royal comes out. They brawl through the commercial break. The announce team throws to a video package hyping the Dark Order versus Cardona, Natural Nightmares, and Scorpio Sky. And I mean, they do some decent promo stuff. Anyway, so Thunder Rosa defeats Serena Deeb. Both of these ladies are debuting on Dynamite. I'm a huge fan of the integration with the NWA, hoping this leads to an NWA title unification in a year, who knows, or some sort of use of the NWA championship as part of Dynamite. I know a lot of people say the NWA is dead, but I think if you really want tradition, integrating the NWA championship, even if it was just on pay-per-views, would be an awesome way to do that. Anyway, Thunder Rosa and Serena Deeb are, in fact, better than most of the women already in the division. Hopefully they're both staying around and have the best match of the night. I'm not necessarily sure that a competitive match is what Thunder Rosa needed going into the pay-per-view. However, if Thunder Rosa was able to unify the championships, that would be cool. The match was totally awesome. Dweeb goes after the arm and knee of her opponent, and they get into a striking battle. Rosa comes out ahead. The announcers do a brilliant job of putting over her mixed martial arts experience. Rosa hits arm drags. They go back and forth with strikes. Running leg drop by Thunder Rosa. Rosa hits a drop kick in the corner and hits a necktie. Dweeb slides out, hits an octopus hold, and hits a pile driver. Rosa escapes and hit a Death Valley driver, which was well done. They trade pinfall attempts. Rosa hits a one-legged drop kick, then hits the Thunder Driver for the pinfall. Good for her. Jon Moxley cuts a promo on MJF backstage. He says this is championship week. Can MJF handle the publicity pressure? He says on Saturdays, all the distractions go away, and it's kill or be killed for MJF. Mox says he'll have to be the meanest and nastiest he's ever been. He says it's MJF's moment, but everything he's done until now has been easy. This will not be easy. Shivani interviews Big Swole. Swole promised to fight Britt Baker tooth and nail on Saturday, so they call this a tooth and nail match that's coming. Reba approach disguised as a pizza delivery person with a pizza for Shivani. This was kind of funny. Baker attacks Swole from behind with a crutch. Baker uses the lockjaw and then throws pizza on her. This was fine. I mean, I'm not. Yeah, whatever. It was fine. So Baker and Swole match on Saturday is now a tooth and nail match. It's also on the pre-show, which kind of makes me sad. Mark Sterling enters for the main event. He's wearing a padded outfit. Think Paulie dangerously in the Clash in 1992 or 93 with Medusa. Anyway, Wardlow follows him out and makes sure he got in the ring. Moxley offers Sterling free shots. Moxley eventually gets annoyed after getting poked in the eye. He runs around ringside. Sterling hits him with a shoe. Moxley returns an eye poke and a paradigm shift for the pin. Wardlow jumps Moxley at the end of the match, and MJF slowly walks to the ring with his walker and neck brace before doing away with the brace and the walker. MJF hammers Moxley with stomps and various shots, hits him with the Dynamite Diamond Ring. MJF hits Moxley with a right hand with the ring on again, and Moxley bled. And MJF stood over Mox, posed with the title, closed the show. Show closing angle was good, but again, I mean, they threw away part with the Battle Royal. They threw away part with other things. They wasted time with the 8-man tag. On the heels of pay-per-view that happens 3 or 4 times a year, it's too much wasted time in this. Anyway, that's your AEW review, and we will be back with the pay-per-view on Saturday, among other things. Also, several more forays into the WCCW events, probably up through at least July or August over the next few days. Anyway, until next time, keep your feet on the ground, your mind in the moment. Until next time, everybody.